You're listening to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast with your host, Bob Gardner.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Glistening Glass. Glistening Glass is my company and is a residential window washing and gutter cleaning company. We service the northern Hillsborough and southwest Pasco County area. If you're interested in having your home windows or gutters cleaned, now is the time to call. 813-404-2300. That's Glistening Glass. Well, hello, guys. First, let me just say I am sorry for not having a podcast last week. I was going to start working on it, and then I got a really bad cold, and my voice was just off. I couldn't hear well, I couldn't talk well, and I was constantly coughing and sniffling, and I didn't think that anyone would like to listen to that, so I postponed last week's podcast to this week. Now, I hope that I can get 2 podcasts in this week. That is my goal, but I want to make sure that I am keeping up and making sure that the podcasts are the best that I can make them as I learn to make them and hopefully make them better from week to week. Last week, my plan was to tell a story from the Messengers of Hope Mission's history, the things that have happened in the past, which I've been trying to do in a different podcast, and I will do that this week. And hopefully the second podcast this week, I'll share what happened to us this past Sunday, and of course Saturday as well. I get that information from Deb, so she passes it along to me, and I hope to do that on the podcast. It'll come out later this week so that we can keep on track. So this is episode 3, and it should be episode 4 this week. So again, I apologize for that. But without further ado, let's get on to this week's subject. Several years ago, I had a church reach out to me, and the person in the church didn't really say much on the phone when they asked what we were, asked for a little bit of explanation for Messengers of Hope Mission, and I told them how we were a mobile food pantry. And then the next question that they asked was, do you need any 2 items? And I said, well, we need lots of items. And the person that I was talking to, I cannot remember the lady's name, but she said, I need 2 items, just 2 items that are similar in price, and I need something that is easy to get. That is what I need from you that we can get for you. I was a little taken aback by this, but I said, well, we can use cereal and mac and cheese. And she said, perfect. And that was kind of the end of the conversation. It very abruptly ended, and I didn't hear from this lady again for several weeks. Several weeks later, I got a call from the same lady saying that she would like to drop off the food that her church collected. And I said, sure, I'll meet you there. And we got to the building. A few minutes later, the lady pulled up with her husband, and they had a car full of both cereal and mac and cheese. And I was like, well, this is great. That's exactly what we needed. You got it for us. Thank you so much. And they were laughing, and they said it was actually kind of fun how we did this. And I said, what do you mean? And so they shared the story with me, which is what I'm going to tell you right now. So I'm not going to mention the name of their church because I didn't get permission to share this, and I don't know if they really want this to get out like that. But their church was having an issue. So if you are a churchgoer, you may understand this. This stems back many, many years. If you're not a churchgoer, just sit back and enjoy the story because it's kind of funny. The people in the church were arguing. They were fighting over what type of music was going to be played every week. And as a general rule, the older crowd wanted more traditional hymn-style music, and the younger crowd wanted more contemporary praise-style music. And it was a constant fight, and the church was talking about going to 2 services, having a traditional service and a contemporary service. But they kind of felt like if they did that, then they would lose unity in the church. Now, I've been in churches that have done it both ways, where they do a mix of music and where they have multiple services. And I like both ways, but I really like what this church's idea was. So there was so much bickering going on, and I think it was probably, mostly banter, maybe some people getting their feelings hurt, but for the most part, I think people were just like, I want to listen to music that I like, and fine, great, that's all well and good. But what the leadership of the church decided to do was make it a game. And they said, okay, this month, and I believe it was the month of July, they said, this month, if you want in August, if you want to be traditional hymnal music, bring a box of cereal. And if you want it to be contemporary music, bring a box of mac and cheese. And maybe it was 2 boxes of mac and cheese because of the price. But they said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to have to do it. And whatever we get the most of, that is what is going to win. And the next month we will do this type of music. So they did that, and people really enjoyed it. And people were bringing mac and cheese, and they were bringing cereal, and they had 2 tables filling up. And the funny thing was they said that some people that really wanted contemporary music were bringing cereal for the older crowd because they felt bad, and vice versa. Some of the older crowd was like, well, we're really bringing a lot here. Let's help them out. And so they were bringing mac and cheese. So the tables are getting full, and I forget who won. One clearly won over the other, but they had a lot of fun doing that, and so they did it again the next month. And I believe it was soup and canned pasta that they did that month, and they did the same thing where they had like the whoever brought the most in, that was the type of music. This went on for several months before the church stopped caring about the music, and it was all about bringing food to Messengers of Hope so that we can bring it out to people. And they really enjoyed it. It was an amazing little thing that they did to create some unity in the church and stop the infighting. And it worked to this day, from what I understand. And I am still friends with a couple of people that go there. They say there's no problem with music anymore. They just enjoy being at the service. Now, they don't, as far as I know, they don't do that game anymore, but they do collect food for us, and we are very grateful for that. And you know what? While I'm at it, we've got a lot of churches that collect food for us, and they do an amazing job, and we're so thankful to them. We got churches that support us as well. And it's just great to have that. I don't want to leave out the clubs. We got a lot of clubs and businesses and individuals that support us, and all of that is amazing. We have people bring up food all the time. We have people bring up drinks all the time, and it takes that to be able to do the work that we do. So I just thought I would share that story this week because I really enjoyed it. And this podcast is going to be a little bit shorter today because I'm going to be doing 2 in this week, but look forward to the next one. The next one's going to be a little bit longer because I got a lot more to talk about. But I will continue to give little stories throughout time, little archival stories of Messengers of Hope, things that I find amusing and anecdotal, and I hope that you do as well. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. This week's news for Messenger Hope Mission is that we are having a garage sale on February 3rd. That is Saturday, February 3rd from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We need volunteers to show up, and of course we need people to get the word out, as this is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. We call it Pasco's Biggest Garage Sale, and we do so for a reason. And this time we're calling it Pasco's Biggest Garage Sale Even Bigger, because this garage sale is going to be the biggest one we've ever had. So you don't want to miss that. That's right at our location at 14426 Black Lake Road in Odessa, Florida. Make sure you come to volunteer, come to bring stuff to the garage sale that you want to donate, and of course, come to shop. We need chest freezers. And when I say chest freezers, I don't mean the upright ones. I actually mean the ones that the lid is on the top of the freezer, and we'd like to have them 14 cubic feet or more. We get a lot of frozen food, and we can fill our freezers very quickly before we have the chance to get it all out. So we do need those freezers. So it doesn't have to be new. It can be a used one. If you have one that you can donate, or you have the ability to get one for Messengers of Hope, please reach out to us on our Facebook page. Just DM us there, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. In keeping in mind with the chest freezers, one thing that we've had as a pipe dream for quite some time is a walk-in freezer. Not just a regular walk-in freezer, but one with a door big enough that we can actually roll a pallet jack and a pallet through the door. We need something like that because we get a lot of stuff at times, and it takes a long time to put it away. But if we're able to roll it into a freezer and work on it in there, the meat and other frozen food stays fresh and safer much longer than if we're, especially in the summertime, out in the heat. So if you have any way of getting us in touch with someone that would be able to help us with a walk-in freezer, or if you are like Jackson Davis and looking for an Eagle Scout project, this is the thing that would really be helpful to Messengers of Hope and to help you get your Eagle Scout project done. Now, out of the ones that I have listed, this one is probably the most important one in the near future, and that is we need a diesel bus mechanic. The difference between a regular mechanic and a diesel mechanic, from what I understand, is very different. It's like the difference between a MacBook and a regular computer that uses Windows. And then on top of that, you get a bus, a diesel bus, and it is much, much different than most other diesel vehicles. At least that is what I have been told. Now, we do have a mechanic that comes out and works with us once in a while, but he is quite pricey, and we can't afford to always get that done. We need oil change, and we need other fluids checked, and just basic mechanic stuff. And then there's some more advanced mechanic stuff that we need done. So if you are a diesel mechanic or know one that works on buses or has experience with buses, again, please reach out to us ASAP. And finally, I'm going to give one of our pipe dreams. This is a pipe dream that we've had ever since we've gotten our warehouse here in Odessa, is we would like a forklift. We have pallet racks that go up in the air as high as 12 foot, and it would be really, really nice to be able to have access to a forklift to put stuff on the higher shelves, and of course to remove stuff from the trucks and trailers that we have show up. So it would be great to have that instead of hand loading and hand unloading. So if that is something that you have the ability to help us with, whether you have one to donate or you know a business that is looking to donate one, please again reach out to us here on Facebook and through the podcast as well. Just some good news about the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. We are on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, and soon to be YouTube Podcast. Check us out, follow us, and share us with your friends. Okay, everyone, this is the point of the podcast where I get to make an appeal to you, the listener. Messengers of Hope is in need of volunteers to come help work at our warehouse. We have jobs as easy as sorting food and toiletries, items like light cleaning, all the way up to lifting and stacking of boxes. If you live in the greater Tampa Bay area and want to serve with Messengers of Hope, reach out today. Go to our Facebook page and message us directly. If you're not local or do not have the ability to volunteer at Messengers of Hope Warehouse, you can still make an impact. Messengers of Hope is in need of financial gifts. Donations are tax deductible as Messengers of Hope is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. You can go to our Facebook page and find an online donation portal or get the address and mail us a check. Any amount helps more than you may think. That's going to do it for this week's Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. In the words of Mother Teresa, if you can't feed 100 people, feed just one. This is Bob Gardner reminding you to make a difference in our world today. See you next time right here on the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast.